Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. Big thanks again to Ty from Slab Factory for joining us and chatting about the National from last week and previewing their upcoming card show this Sunday at the Brewing Project. Hey, if you want to see some reels from the National or more details on the show, make sure you follow them on Facebook. Just look them up, Slab Factory Eau Claire, or on Instagram, @slabfactory_. We'll share it up on our socials too to help you find those pages. Let's switch gears and let's talk some college football because the Badgers, well, they start practice this week, and RJ Cardinal is joining us. Happy start to practice, man. How you feeling?
Oh, pretty good. Just a couple steps closer to the season starting. I think there's the local media day today. I don't know if it's this morning or this afternoon, but chance for all the local reporters to get a little more intimate, even more so than they did at Big Ten Media Days last week when they had their own availability. So, yeah, we'll see what comes out of this. We'll hopefully not have to deal with new sets of pictures that needed to be taken down because the entire nation ridiculed them. And maybe Luke Fickell won't put his foot in his mouth again when he said last week at Big Ten Media Days in the local scrum, if you can't contribute in the first 2 weeks, I don't know what you're doing here. So, a lot of things could possibly happen today to make news stories for tomorrow. Or no, is the media scrum tomorrow? It's either today or tomorrow. I can't remember which one. So 2 more sleeps until camp starts.
Yeah, no doubt. So as camp is starting up here, RJ, I know we've talked about certain players, kind of in the offseason and that, but now that we are here, what are some of the main position battles or position, groups that are kind of up in the air that you're definitely going to be kind of paying attention to, or you would tell us Badgers fans to really follow?
Following the O-line, I don't know how many battles there are, but just seeing how they perform even in fall camp as things get laid out here. That's a big one. Seeing if Kevin Haywood, who was projected to be a starter last year before he tore his ACL, see what happens there. Pretty much an entirely new running back room. See how the reps play out and see who's going to be at least the lead back. I don't know if this is a bell cow kind of thing for Abu Sama and then everybody else will help fill in. I think you might see a more of a fresh legs approach. And who knows, maybe that'll help a lot more in terms of having your leading rusher have more than 300 plus yards in a season. But that side of the ball, I'm looking at those two positions. Wide receiver, I think it's kind of set on where it is, but that doesn't mean somebody can't have a couple of breakout practices and make some noise. The other one is, most of it's going to be all offensive, by the way. Mm-hmm. And then the other one is who's going to be the number 2 quarterback. That seems to be where a position battle is taking place between Ryan Hopkins and then the transfer from Louisville. I always forget his name, as well as Carter Smith. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens, especially on the offensive side of the ball, because from the sound of it, we now have the personnel in place to run the reliable, violent offense that we heard of last year. So hopefully that does come to fruition and we can see something there. Mm-hmm. Defensively, I guess really just see how this defensive line plays out. I think we're pretty much set at safeties. I think they brought in a couple of corners they expect to be the number ones. So I guess we'll see how cornerback plays out. mean, when you bring in 50 new people, it turns almost into a whole brand new team. So it might just depend on what you want to look for and what is important to you position-wise to see the growth in this team. And I think for the most part, it'd be your passing defense and the entire offense.
So, RJ, going back to Big Ten Media Days last week, we heard from Luke Fickell at the podium, and this was after the athletic piece that we talked about last week. And I feel like, and I kind of got sucked into it too, I'll be honest, but like hearing Luke Fickell talk and the motivation, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm kind of buying into the season. I've been seeing some people saying, hey, maybe Wisconsin might be just a little bit better this year. What did you take away from some of the stuff that Luke Fickell said at Media Day last week?
Well, he didn't sound defeated.
Yeah.
The past couple of years, just listening to him in press conferences, and I know losing can do that to you, but even some of the things he was saying, it didn't sound like he believed it.
Yeah.
At least in the sound we've heard from him this year so far, it sounds like he's finally believing in the steps he's taking. And I guess that's somewhat believable considering so far every move he's made has seemed to be the wrong one. You hired the wrong offensive coordinator. You found out the monetary investment into your program is nowhere near where the rest of college football is. At least that's how it's now been explained to us. We've now seen an influx of what we perceive to be paid talent. So that's good. And you started recruiting Wisconsin kids, even though that class now has dropped from top 10 to top 25 as other classes are stopped filling out and probably will drop into the 30s. By the time it's all said and done. So all the people who are beating their chest and saying this is the best recruiting class in Wisconsin history, probably not going to be. But, hey, they got the Wisconsin kids, so yeah. A lot of people are pumped about that. And you've started rebuilding relationships with the alumni of the Wisconsin football program that for the past few seasons have felt alienated, like nothing was happening. So good to – it just seems from the outside looking in too, because he said it, you've probably not seen the changes we made.
Yeah.
Well, at least locally here, those changes have been reported on. And, I mean, just by seeing the 2027 recruiting class, us as the common people can see what's going on. We can see that effort. We hear Brady Ewing talking about reconnecting with the alumni. We hear alumni now saying, I've been able to go in there and talk and do this. I haven't heard Big Cat say whether he's made contact and been able to donate money yet, but we know he's out there. So it seems better things are coming out of the UW than we've seen in the past. And I don't know because, I don't know when the next chancellor is going to be hired, but the current interim chancellor, the stuff he's doing right now and being as visible as he is, not only on the academic side, but within athletics, he's either doing a hell of a campaign job to keep this and keep his position, or he's about to be named the next Wisconsin chancellor. So it seems everything here is going in the right direction for Wisconsin, and I think maybe that's where Luke Fickell's exuberance and upbeatness and the sound to his inflection, I think it helped people who were on the fence and like him, and the people who don't, they're automatically going to be like, oh, it's new lip service in a different tone. So I was caught up in this sounds different. And yeah, I mean, he put it out there. He's in do or die mode right now. And when he point blank asked, he goes, yeah, we burned the ships. We're here.
Yeah.
And then people just went to, well, Cortez was a really bad guy, so why are you comparing yourself to him? Well, he burned the ships. I'm sorry. Like, there's no point in retreat. All we have to do is move forward, and failure is not an option. He could have said that, and people have been like, oh, that's cliche. Well, at least, now people are talking about how bad of a guy Cortez was instead of, him being cliche and just using lip service.
It just, if I completely agree with you how he came off, and man, it just, I know we kind of asked this last week, but man, this doesn't really seem to paint a great picture on Chris McIntosh either, though, RJ, does it?
No. And I mean, we've seen it athletic department wide. When Sean Eichhorst has gone and visit teams, players are like, that's the first time I've seen the athletics director in person.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I mean, granted, the athletic director is not going to go to every practice and all this kind of stuff, but like, he's visiting with players. He's visiting teams at their practices. Eichhorst has even said that he's going to meet with every employee in the athletic department individually. He's a guy who's right now doing his due diligence to find out what it's going to take to turn this athletic department around. And, we'll see where it goes. But so far it does paint things in the light of McIntosh was treading water and up to his chin and looking for a buoy or a lifeboat, a lifesaver, whichever aquatic floating vessel you want to use to get out of here. And the opportunity came, whether it was manufactured or real. I don't know.
So, RJ, I know I kind of ask you this every year, but it's always kind of, I think, just kind of a nice inside glimpse of it into it. But with camp opening up, kind of take us a little bit with your experience, kind of a behind the scenes. What does that first week of camp, or what did it look like when you were there with the program?
Well, my first week of camp, we were out of the seminary, so we were off campus, much like, when they were doing UW-Platteville, and I mean, that can't happen this year, and they didn't find another space to do it off campus, but really, when you're opening that brand new indoor practice facility, and now granted, it's nice enough most days you don't have to be indoors, but I mean, you have everything you need right on campus. And after my first 2 years, we stayed on campus moving forward. But it's really just intro, install, all that kind of stuff. You're practicing your own stuff, offense and defense against each other for the first 3 weeks, sometimes 2, and then all depending, you either go 2 weeks of install for your first game, 1 week of install for your first game. Now, being a neutral site game, normally we opened at home while I was there, so you'd have like a normal week where you acted like there was class. So you'd have your morning lifts before class for some guys, and depending on schedules and all that, because those are all made up already, so everybody knows their class schedules and things. Go to your scheduled lift like it was in class time the week before the first game, even though school hasn't started yet. You have practice in the evening. You have your training table for food at the normal times come school year. You go to the time is set aside for study table, but I mean, you don't have to go. School hasn't started yet. So it's really starts out as a broad install and works its way down into what a weekly in-season game prep will be by the end of the month.
RJ, before I let you go here, too, I mean, we got other sports getting started up here, and I think this is cool to see, switching over to volleyball here, because volleyball announced their broadcast schedule, which has 16 regular season games on national television. And going back to the years that we've done this, Kelly Sheffield, head coach, has been like pushing and pushing and pushing for more exposure for women's volleyball. It's honestly really cool. I think, others have too, but a testament to see that push to say 16 regular season matches are going to be on the national broadcast schedule.
Yeah, which is awesome to see. And I mean, I think there's still a long way to go there because, in terms of that, national broadcast, depending on which network we're looking at, Big Ten Network, I still don't understand why Big Ten Network can't have more live sports on. Well, I know why, because they don't really have the staff to be doing multiple sports every season for 18 schools. If they want to be more of a student-led thing and have broadcasts led by students, I don't care. Some of those sports, people aren't watching for the broadcast. They're watching for the sole purpose, like volleyball, to actually watch volleyball without having to have a extra BTN Plus subscription, ESPN Plus subscription, just to be able to see the non-revenue sports / Olympic sports. So good to see that 16 of these games are going to be on visible to people, I guess, depending on if you have extended cable. But yeah, it's awesome to see that all the and not at least here locally, we hear Kelly Sheffield talking about it all the time, but nationwide, just the people who are standing up now for volleyball, for women's hockey, for some of these women's sports that aren't going to be on TV unless people start championing for it, that at least in volleyball we're seeing a lot more televised games, not just for Wisconsin, but sport-wide, which is awesome to see because, I mean, even when we, last year when we were talking about Wisconsin on their way to the national championship game, you had to have ESPN Plus to watch it up until the national championship game. That's just ridiculous that a postseason is relegated to a subscription-based format when it should be something everybody should be able to be watching.
I agree. RJ, I know we were a little late and a little quicker, but next week I'm excited to actually talk about some practice reports at football with you, dude. So put your scouting cap on, okay, bud?
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. We'll talk to you next week, bud. Thanks. Appreciate the time as always, dude.
We'll see you then. Have a good rest of your week.
You got it. There you go. RJ Cardinal joining us, breaking it all down here for some Badger chat. We got to take a quick break before the top of the hour. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes.